Welcome back to every naval battle in history. In this episode, we are raising the curtain on the Second Punic War as Rome and Carthage go for round 2 of the great imperial deathmatch of the ages. When a chap called Hannibal started conquering Rome's allies in Spain, the Roman Senate declared war, but it's fair to say they were somewhat surprised when that Hannibal marched an army, including elephants, from Spain and into Italy, where he raised hell for year after year. Carthage itself, once again, found itself unwillingly at war with an implacable foe. At the end of the First Punic War, Carthage had lost the major islands of the Mediterranean, Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica. But the vast trade route from the Middle East along the North African coast to Spain, and back, remained theirs. I've said it before, but it's important to remember that in ancient times the average sea voyage was conducted within sight of land during the daytime. It was essential to stop every few days at a source of fresh water, and usual for the crew and passengers to sleep in tents on the beaches. This might sound like a lot of hard work, but it was still better than walking or riding a horse, and if you wanted to move goods, it was much easier than dealing with pack animals and carts in a world where roads were rare. Compared to the titanic naval battles of the First Punic War, the second featured more modest forces. As the war started, Carthage put a force of quinqueremes to sea and raided the Lipari Islands off the northeast coast of Sicily. A group of them were blown off course and encountered the Greek Syracusan fleet in the Strait of Messina. The Greeks captured 3 of the ships and learned from them that a plan was afoot to capture Lilybaeum in the northwest of the island. The Greeks tipped the Romans off. Now, Lilybaeum has featured heavily in this series, and I think we need to explore it a bit more before we say goodbye. Phoenician settlement in Sicily's northwest predated the rise of Carthage, and there's a reason for that. These days, Lilybaeum is known as Marsala. Yes, where the fortified wine comes from. Which is a name the Arabs gave it, meaning roughly God's harbour. Possibly also Ali's harbour, or just Big Harbour, but where's the romance in that? As you can see by this modern satellite view, it's a marvellous piece of geography with a defensible peninsula and a vast natural anchorage to the north, sheltered by the Isola Grande, Grand Island. Lilybaeum was never taken by siege, and many tried. The walls were huge, 10 metres high and 7 metres thick. The Romans besieged it for 9 years in the First War without any success. Pyrrhus of Epirus broke his army on those walls. Magna Graecia could mark the height of its success there. The walls were finally abandoned as the city grew over them in the 4th century AD, after which numerous conquests ensued. Incidentally, the museum at modern-day Marsala houses the remains of a Carthaginian warship thought to have participated in the Battle of the Agates Islands. That was episode 37. It's on my list of places to go. But here's the thing, while Lilybaeum loomed large in the Carthaginian mind, it was 20 years from the end of the First War to the start of the Second. How many of the new Carthaginian force truly knew it? And in their plan of attack, they now had to somehow breach the colossal defences they themselves had constructed at immense cost. As they approached Lilybaeum at dawn, the Carthaginians had 35 quinqueremes. If they had achieved surprise, their plan might just have worked. Sadly for them, the forewarned Marcus Aemilius Lepidus had his 20 ships ready for sea and loaded to the gunwales with legionnaires, while, once again, Carthage's ships were undermanned. After 7 of the Carthaginian ships had been boarded and captured, they turned for the open sea and made their escape. After centuries, Lilybaeum was no longer a safe harbour for the swift ships of the Phoenicians. The Romans would counterattack by capturing Malta. Strap in, folks, we've got lots more to cover as we take on every naval battle in history. Smash those like and subscribe buttons, ring that bell, you don't want to get left behind.